Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel and you're watching the Lawn Care Life. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 7 ways that you can make more money with your lawn care business. Does that sound like a good video? I think it does, and it's something I need to continue evaluating in my own business. Before we get to that, today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. If you want to use the spray tanks that I use in my weed control and fertilization business, go to grahamse.com. There's a link in the description. All right, let's get to it. 7 ways to make more money in the lawn care business. All right, like I try to do in my videos, I share from experience in my own business, and these are some things that I've been cleaning up to try to continue to make my local lawn care company more profitable. So one is improving my route. For some, you've got to optimize your route. And so there may be some customers that are not in an area where you're able to gain multiple customers. So you're driving kind of out of the way to go get to one customer. So, really looking at your route and figuring out how to optimize that is important. Let me give you an example of what I was doing, and I'll let you understand it from a mowing standpoint and also weed control and fertilization. But for me, I was doing 7 applications for most of my customers, but I still had some that I was doing 6 applications on. And you say, well, what's the big deal, Jason? You got some on 6 applications, some on 7. Well, the big deal was this. I was trying to equally space out the 6 applications over the course of a year. And then on the 7 applications, those were sort of equally spaced out and they didn't line up on the calendar. So I go to a neighborhood, I've got next door neighbors. I literally spray one yard and not spray the next door neighbor, only to have to come back and do it a couple weeks later, and then they're off schedule for the whole time. I said, this is ridiculous. So what I did, and this was a friend suggested this, but I basically put everybody on 7 applications a year, but if they only wanted to do 6, then I just skip them one time. So what that did was optimize my route to where now I go to a neighborhood, I can literally take care of every yard in that neighborhood on the same exact day. And if I get to somebody that only wants 6 applications, then I know which application I'm going to skip them on. But almost everybody switched over to 7 applications, and that really helped optimize my route to make me more efficient and more profitable. Number 2 is that's just getting rid of your unprofitable customers altogether. Now, maybe this is a customer that's late to pay. Maybe they continue adding extra requirements to you that are not in the initial agreement you made as what's going to be taking care of their lawn. Maybe, again, like we mentioned before, they're just out of the way, and you thought when you took that customer on, you thought, you know what, I can get 5 or 6 more customers in this neighborhood and it'll be profitable, but over time you just haven't been able to do that. So you find yourself continuing to drive out of the way for this one customer. Maybe it's somebody that just simply is not paying their bill, and you in that situation, you may have to tell them that you're going to have to put a credit card on file or prepay, whatever you have to do to make them a more profitable customer. But regardless, if you find a customer that's not profitable, maybe they're just priced too low, then in that situation you need to go up on their prices. Anybody that's unprofitable, you either have to convert them to a profitable customer by raising their prices, by getting more customers in that area, or you need to drop them and move on. And of course you want to do that in a polite, respectful way as to not leave a scar when you end that business relationship. The third thing you can do is simply add more profitable services. So for instance, I was mowing a lot of grass, and now I'm doing weed control and fertilization, and that's more profitable, at least for my business. So that was one way. Maybe you're thinking you might have a mowing route, a regular mowing route that's been profitable for you, but if you also get some training and learn how to do some landscaping, that might can help you during the downtime of your mowing. But also could be a higher ticket item than the mowing. The mowing might be your steady income, but the landscaping could be a higher ticket jobs to help you make more money overall through the year. And the same thing, you could add on the weed control and fertilization or whatever you're looking to do. If you live up north, maybe you can start getting into the snow plowing. Again, probably a higher profit item than the mowing, but the mowing, again, is your steady money, but you can supplement that and add some higher profit services to that. The fourth thing I want to mention is upselling your services. So in the weed control and fertilization business, what this looks like is, all right, I've got my 7 application program here, but you know what? You might also offer a tree and shrub program that's even more profitable than the lawn service. Or maybe you've got some extra services like you do a fungicide, it's not including your program, but if they want that, you can upsell them to that, or they want fire ant control or grub control. And maybe some of these things are included in your program, or maybe they're not. But there's opportunities to upsell people. You fertilize their tree and shrubs, or maybe you have a weed control program for the flower beds that's not included, but you can upsell them on that. So you be thinking about that. If you're mowing lawns, somebody told me this one time, I thought it was actually a very simple and great idea. But if you're mowing lawns and you see something that needs to be done, in today's society, you literally can text them a picture of it and ask them, say, hey, we can take care of this for this price. So let's say you're out there mowing your lawn, their hedges haven't been trimmed lately. You take a picture of them and say, hey, we can take care of your hedges for this amount of dollars, or whatever. They need fresh mulch or pine straw in their bed. So you take a picture, you say, hey, you know what? We offer mulch installations for $100 and some per yard, or whatever it is your rate. So those are things that you can do to upsell your customers, and can definitely help you if you get in that slow period. Like if you're in the fall and you know your grass season's about to wind down, then you start trying to book some of these jobs to help you get some winter income. The fifth thing I want to mention is that you can simply target higher price customers. Sometimes there are certain areas where the clientele has a higher wage and they live in nice houses and they're willing to pay more. Now, it's not as easy as that. You can't just go roll in their neighborhood and just think that you're going to pick all these customers up. But if you are able to get one customer in there, then sometimes that can help lead you to other customers as they network with their neighbors. And you can figure out a way to target them through direct mail or things like that. But again, getting your foot in the door and just being a presence in that neighborhood and doing an excellent job can lead you to more clients in that neighborhood. And these people oftentimes are willing to pay more for quality work and for reliability than maybe some areas where the income clientele is not as high income, and they want their grass cut too, but they're not going to be able to pay hundreds of dollars per month year round like some of the wealthier clients are going to be able to do. The sixth one may be common sense, but you can actually raise your prices, and it's something that I think far too many people go far too long without doing. You think about inflation, you think about the cost of living going up, you think about your materials, like we do weed control and fertilization. Sometimes there's price increases in the products that we're using. So over time, if you're not increasing your prices, then you're actually working for a cheaper and cheaper rate each year that goes by. Now, you might can offset that by gaining more customers. You might can offset that by having a tighter route and becoming more profitable that way. But ultimately, it doesn't make sense to just continue working for a cheaper rate. Why not just increase prices? Almost every successful business in the world does that, at least to my knowledge. Any restaurant you go to, over time they go up in their prices. So, especially if you're not being as profitable as you should as a customer. I've done this several times, and I'm almost always surprised at how few people actually cancel. Now, I don't say go up 20%, but if you go up incrementally every year, or every other year, or every 3 years, customers almost come to expect it. And if you've done a great job, then they're not going to want to lose you as their service provider, typically over a $5 increase. So, if you do this systematically every year, or 2 years, or 3 years, and it's not a huge increase, most customers are understanding and know that this is part of you being successful in your business. And the truth is, even if you lose some customers, that price increase typically more than pays for the customers that you end up losing. The seventh thing I want to mention is delegating to others. You say, oh no, here goes. If I bring on somebody else to work with me, that's going to cost me money. And yes, that is a factor. I believe that's a true factor. And this is a complicated answer to this question. But ultimately, to grow the business past yourself, you are going to have to bring people in there, because once you max out what you can do, what else can you do? That's all you got time for, just work all the time. So bringing somebody in is going to cost you money initially. But that is going to allow you to grow, allow you to be freed up so that you can focus on growing the business and ultimately bring in more revenue. Now, this only works if you're running a profitable business. If you're barely making any margins with you doing all the work, well, then when you bring somebody on, you're probably hurting yourself So you got to make sure that your prices are right and that you're being a profitable business so that you can afford to pay somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you're making like $40 per man hour on the lawns and you're going to pay somebody $15, it's most likely not going to work. You know, you could pay somebody $15 an hour if they're generating you $100 an hour on the other end per hour. So does that make sense? You have to be profitable to afford it. And yes, there's an initial cost when you bring that person on, but then that allows you to grow. And what I've been told before, and I believe this to be true, the hardest jump to make is from one person to two people. Or maybe you say from one crew to two crews. But once you get to two crews, going to 3 and 4 and 5 becomes easier. So it is difficult. You might want to save up and have a little bit of a cushion to be able to make that jump, and then aggressively market yourself so that you can begin filling up the route for both people, and where maybe just you or just your crew before. But ultimately, that is going to make you more money in the long run if done correctly. Appreciate you watching the video. I'm Jason Creel. If you're in the lawn business or thinking about getting in the lawn business, I've got a lot of resources available for you at lawncarelife.com. There's a weed control and fertilization academy. There's a lawn business master academy. There's lawn care documents. We help people in the lawn business. You can get a lawn care logo there. There's a lot of things available. We even have a live interactive program coming up in March of 2021. We're limited to 20 spots where it teaches you how to get in the weed control and fertilization business. Comes with all the documents, the programs, the courses that I offer, but also has an 8-week live sessions where we can interact together in a private Facebook group. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.